All right, so good morning, everyone. Our session for this online activity or online synchronous session is all about corporation. But before we proceed with the journal entries related to a corporation, let us have an overview of what a corporation is. Okay, so um, in discussing partnership, the law on partnership is governed by the Civil Code of the Philippines, whereas the corporations are governed by the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines. And based on the Revised Corporation Code, or RCC for short, this is the technical definition of a corporation. So a corporation is an artificial being created by operation of law, having the right of succession and the powers, attributes, and properties expressly authorized by law or incident to its existence. So from this definition alone, we can actually point out the attributes of a corporation. So the first part of the definition says that a corporation is an artificial being. So this is actually the first attribute of a corporation. A corporation is an artificial being with a with a personality separate and apart from its individual shareholders or members. Meaning to say, when we speak of corporation as an artificial being, it means that the corporation itself shall be treated as a person. It is a being. Although it is not a human being, it is an artificial being. But we will consider it as a person. It has a personality distinct and apart from its shareholders. So, for example, if we have we have five shareholders. So, there are five natural persons, there are five human beings, and one corporation being an artificial being. So, we can actually say that there are six persons all in all. So, six persons, meaning the five shareholders and the corporation. So there are six persons. And since a corporation is considered as a separate person, then it has the power to acquire assets on its own name, to to enter into contracts with other persons and other entities using its own name, not bearing, hindi gagamitin yung mga names ng ibang shareholders, but rather the corporation will use its own name because it is considered a person, although an artificial person or artificial being. Next one, if you look at the definition again, created by operation of law. Because a corporation being an artificial being, it cannot exist without the permission allowed by law. It is created by operation of law. Corporations cannot exist if the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, is the one in charge by our law to register corporations, to check the qualifications of the shareholders or incorporators before approving a certain corporation. So it cannot come into existence by mere agreement of the parties, as in the case of business partnerships. So in a partnership business, the partners can merely agree among themselves what they want for their partnership business. And upon meeting of the minds, there will be an existing partnership already, such that the subsequent registration of the partnership to the SEC is merely a formal requirement. It is not a substantial requirement for its existence. So meaning to say, kung partnership lang, as long as may agreement kayo among yourselves, among the partners, then the partnership will be born already. The the entity, the partnership will already have its own personality, even though hindi pa siya na-register sa SEC. But in a corporation, even though among yourselves, no, you already decided and agreed on the terms of and other provisions of your corporation, But if hindi pa siya na-register sa SEC, it cannot acquire a personality. It cannot exist. Okay? So corporations require special authority or grant from the state, either by a special incorporation law that directly creates the corporation or by means of a general corporation law, such in this case we have the revised corporation code of the Philippines. So in the RCC we can actually see what are the requirements for us to create a corporation, what are the minimum requirements, what are the required qualifications of incorporators, because there are also corporations na hindi pwede kung an incorporator is a foreigner. Okay? But there are also corporations na allowed naman mag-participate ang mga foreigners. So, yun yung mga qualifications of a certain corporation. It's laid down in the revised Corporation Code of the Philippines. So, yun yung i-check ni SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, i-check ni SEC kung na nyo ba yung minimum requirements of creating this corporation. And if yes, then the SEC will approve your application and the SEC will give you a certificate of incorporation. So upon the issuance of a certificate of incorporation, it's the consent. It is tantamount to a consent by the state, by the Philippine government, na i-allow niya yung corporation natin to come into existence. Okay? So it is one created by operation of law. Next part of the definition says, having the right of succession. So when you hear the word succession, what comes into mind? So you can actually imagine something dying, no? And then because of that death, certain rights or properties will be transferred to the quote-unquote heirs, mga heirs. So in a corporation has a right of succession, meaning to say its shares can be transferred to other persons and it will not cause the death of the corporation. It will not cause the dissolution of a corporation. If you can still recall, no, in our lessons in partnership, if you admit another partner, for example, you have existing partners A and B, and you want to admit partner C to the partnership, there will be a dissolution of the old partnership of A and B, and a new partnership will come into existence, A, B, and C partnership, because a partnership has no right of succession. But in a corporation, since it has a right of succession, if, for example, we have shareholders, hindi na partners ang tatawag natin sa kanila, but shareholders na. If, for example, the initial shareholders are A and B, and for example, they want to admit another shareholder in the person of C, in that case, hindi na kailangan i-dissolve ang corporation. Okay? Or for example, if A dies, if one shareholder dies, his shareholdings in that corporation will simply be transferred to the heirs, and the heirs will now become the new shareholders of that corporation. And the corporation will not care, meaning it will still continue to exist. Okay? In fact, a corporation can have a perpetual existence because prior to the revision of the Corporation Code of the Philippines, prior to the revision, the maximum life of a corporation is 50 years lang. So 50 years, after mag-expire, or before ma-expire ang 50 years, you can renew it again for another 50 years. But because of the revision made to the Corporation Code and thus naming it Revised Corporation Code, we now have what we call a perpetual existence. Meaning to say, wala na yung 50 years na limit. The corporation can exist forever. Even though the shareholders cannot live forever, kung mamatay man yung mga shareholders, yung shares nila will simply be transferred sa mga heirs nila. And then, if yung heirs naman mamatay, then transferred to their heirs again. So but the corporation itself, being a separate entity, will continue to exist. So the death, withdrawal, insolvency, or incapacity of the individual shareholders or members will not dissolve the corporation. Why do we have here the term members, shareholders, or members? Okay, take note. I'll try, meron naman ditong annotate. So we have here shareholders. We have also members. Because a corporation can be um, a stock corporation or a non-stock corporation. So if we say stock corporation, or yeah, for stock corporations, the persons composing it is what we call stockholders or shareholders. Okay, stockholders or shareholders, parehas lang yan. Okay, but when it comes to a non-stock corporation, meaning to say non-stock, non-profit siya na corporation, hindi na shareholders ang tawag sa persons comprising it, but rather we will refer to them as members. Okay? But regardless if it's a stock corporation or a non-stock corporation, it still enjoys the right of succession. So any death, withdrawal, insolvency, incapacity of the shareholders or members will not dissolve the corporation. So the transfer of ownership of shares of stock does not dissolve the corporation. Next, okay, here in the definition, the powers, attributes, and properties expressly authorized by law or incident to its existence. So, it has several powers. Yung kung ano ang pwede gawin ni corporation, it's laid down in the law, no? Like, for example, they have the right to sue and be sued. No? May karapatan daw sila na mag-institute ng mga cases against persons or other corporations or entities na nagkasala sa kanila. So the corporation itself can sue. Pwede din siya isue. Okay? Can sue and be sued. It can also acquire properties. It can buy properties on its own name. It can sell properties on its own name. It can enter into contracts. So all those powers, attributes, and properties are expressly authorized by law. Or kung hindi man siya expressly na nakalagay talaga sa batas, as long as it is incident to its existence, meaning to say, it is necessary para sa kanyang existence, then the corporation can exercise such powers. Okay? Um, okay, ano ba to? Hala, ayaw nang mawala ng mga, wait, okay. So what are the advantages of having a corporation? Some might be hesitant not to incorporate, but these are the advantages of having a corporation. The corporation has the legal capacity to act as a legal entity. So again, it is to be treated as a separate person and can transact on its own. And then another advantage is that shareholders have limited liability. This is in relation to having a sole proprietorship business or a partnership business, because we all know at this point that, for example, for partners, especially general partners, the partnership creditors can run after the personal assets of the partners if the partnership assets are not enough to settle all partnership debts and liabilities, right? So kung insolvent yung partnership, may mga existing unpaid obligations, yung mga creditors can run after the personal assets of the partners. However, in a corporation, shareholders have limited liability, limited only as to the amount of their investment in the corporation. So for example, if you are a shareholder and for that number of shares, you paid only 100,000. So up to that only your liability. So meaning to say, if the corporation becomes insolvent, and when we say insolvent, mas malaki, 'di ba, yung liabilities niya kaysa sa assets niya. The corporation's creditors cannot run after the personal assets of the shareholders. Oh, the liability of the shareholders is limited only up to the extent of their investment in the corporation. Next advantage is that it has continuity of existence, again, because it has a right of succession. So it can continue to exist even forever. My forever sa corporation because of the perpetual existence, no? Perpetual life. So kahit na anong mangyari sa mga shareholders, may mamatay man na shareholder or may isang shareholder na binenta lahat ng kanyang shares sa ibang tao, so the corporation will still continue to exist. The shares of stock can be transferred without the consent of other shareholders. So for example, if you are an existing shareholder and you don't want to become a shareholder anymore, or you feel like um you feel like you don't want to invest in this kind of a corporation anymore, you are actually free to sell your stocks to someone else, to, to sell your shares to someone else, and you don't need to ask permission from the other shareholders. We shall compare this to a partnership. Kung sa partnership, if gusto mo nang mag-withdraw from the partnership, mag-retire from the partnership, or you want to admit a new person in the partnership, kailangan agree, no? Kung mag-a-admit ka ng new partner in the partnership business, all the existing partners should give their consent, because again, a partnership is purely personal na entity, such that if one of the partners do not want to be associated with another person as a partner, then wala talagang mangyayari. Okay? But again, in a corporation, it's easy for you to transfer your shares because you don't need to ask permission from the other shareholders. Next, its management is centralized in the board of directors. So you will elect certain members of the board, and only them can make day-to-day operational decision of the corporation. So centralized siya, hindi siya magulo. Unlike in a partnership, everyone has a say. No, each partner has a say kung anong pwede gawin sa corporation. Magde-decide because 'di ba we have this what we call mutual agency, meaning to say each partner can act as an agent on behalf of the partnership. So, medyo magulo siya, especially if all of the partners cannot come up with the same decision. But in a corporation, it is centralized. The management is centralized. Shareholders are not general agents of the business. So again, there is no such thing as mutual agency in a corporation. Nag-i-exist lang ito in a partnership. Why is it considered an advantage? Because there might be some shareholders who are not knowledgeable enough and who are not skillful enough to enter into contracts. So they will be um, prohibited, no, from doing that, from binding the corporation with any frivolous or disadvantageous contracts. So, but in a partnership, again, any partner can actually bind the partnership. Then, another advantage is greater ability to acquire funds. So, mas malaki yung mapupool na funds niyo because in a corporation, you can admit many shareholders. Okay? So, walang limit as to the number of shareholders. Kahit pa 1,000 na 1,000 persons as shareholders, hindi siya limited lang sa certain number of persons. So, the more persons that you can ask investments from, then there will be more funds for the corporation. Okay, now let's go to the disadvantages of a corporation. The first one is that a corporation is relatively complicated information and management because there are several requirements, no, but kaya 'di ba we discussed a while ago that a corporation can only be created by operation of law. Kailangan may approval muna ng SEC. And for SEC to approve your application to register a corporation, marami pa silang mga hinihingi na mga information and mga requirements. And even some corporations, meron tayong minimum capitalization. Like for example, if you want to have an insurance type of a corporation, kailangan meron kayong 1 billion no na capital. So, but yeah, so we have these several requirements for a corporation, and that is why it's complicated. There is a greater degree of government control and supervision. So it can work both ways, right? Here, we can say na advantage naman sa corporation if ang management is centralized in the board of directors. But the other side of the coin also tells us that this can also be perceived as a disadvantage kasi especially if you are just a minority shareholder and you can see na hindi hindi yung board of directors are making wrong decisions, hindi maganda yung pagkadala nila ng corporation. So, magiging disadvantage yan kasi you cannot participate in making the decisions because you are just a minority shareholder. Next, it requires a relatively high cost of formation and operation. So, this is in relation to the first one, right? Because it is complicated to form and manage. So, mas costly siya. Okay? Most of the time, if you want to create a corporation, you will outsource the registration to someone else. Someone who is experienced in registering a corporation because, again, of the nitty-gritties. So, yung mga incorporators, yung mga tao na gusto mag-create ng corporation, they find it so hassle, so they will outsource the registration to someone else. They will hire a consultant, so they will also pay for the fees of the consultant. And aside from that, malaki, you have to pay filing fees to the SEC. And aside from that, you also have to pay documentary stamp taxes sa mga amount ng capitalization. So, mahal talaga siya. Next, it is subject to heavier taxation than other forms of business organizations. Because again, shares, the issuance of shares, subject to a documentary stamp tax. Okay, so mahal din naman yung doc stamp for a while. Okay, and then for example, if later on the shareholders would want to make an advances to the corporation, kasi for example, if the corporation lacks funds for the meantime and the shareholders want to lend money to the corporation, that is still also taxable. Meron siyang another documentary stamp. Minority shareholders are subservient to the wishes of the majority because again, in the corporation, we have this rule na majority wins. Okay. So if you are a minority shareholder, kahit na gusto mong mag-oppose sa mga gusto nilang gawin, but your voice is commensurate to the number of shares that you own. Then in large corporations, management and control have been separated from ownership, especially for those corporations whose shares are already traded in a stock exchange, diba? Anyone can buy shares, become shareholders, can just buy even one share. So, hindi mo na talaga mafe-feel na you belong to the corporation kahit na you are a shareholder. For example, mag-buy ka ng shares ng, you buy shares in Coca-Cola or San Miguel Corporation, you just buy 10 shares or just one share. You become a shareholder, but uh, you can already wish your dream goodbye na makaka-participate ka sa management ng Coca-Cola or San Miguel Corporation, di ba? Transferability of shares permits the uniting of incompatible and conflicting elements in one venture. For example, you as a shareholder, you will transfer your shares to someone else, and that someone is also a shareholder of another venture that is conflicting to the current corporation that is the shares of that corporation currently transferred to that another person. So there might be incompatibility and conflicting. Okay, so let's look at the classes of corporations. So Section 3 of the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines classified private corporations into stock and non-stock corporations. So we have private corporations. But we also have public corporations. The RCCP only talks about private corporations. Public corporations like we have those government-owned and controlled corporations, hindi na sila kasali sa dinidiscuss sa Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines. Kasi iba yung legal basis ng mga public corporations. So sa RCCP, we are only looking at private corporations. So a private corporation, like what I said a while ago, can be a stock corporation or a non-stock corporation. So when we say stock corporations, these are corporations which have share capital divided into shares and are authorized to distribute to the holders of such shares dividends or allotments of the surplus profits on the basis of the shares held. In other words, ito na phrase, no, authorized to distribute to the holders, blah, 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 blah. Ibig sabihin lang nito, for profit siya na business. So, kung ang corporation nyo is engaged in money-making, for profit talaga siya ang purpose, then that is a stock corporation because since it is for profit, whatever net income that the corporation will earn, pwede siya i-distribute sa mga shareholders as dividends. Yun, yung surplus. Surplus profit or yung net profit, net income ng corporation, pwede siyang i-distribute to the shareholders as dividends. On the other hand, we have non-stock corporations. A non-stock corporation is one where no part of its income is distributable as dividends to its members, trustees, or officers. So non-stock, basically non-stock, non-profit siya. When you say non-profit, hindi naman din ibig sabihin na wala talagang profit ang corporation. It can still have a profit, okay? But non-profit siya in a sense that the profit that can be gained or obtained by the corporation cannot be distributed as dividends to the members, okay? So yung whatever profit na mag-gain ng non-stock corporation will be used lang internally. The profits will be used to advance the advocacy of the non-stock corporation or for the benefit lang talaga of their members. Okay? So any profit that a non-stock corporation may obtain as incident to its operation shall, whenever necessary or proper, be used for the furtherance of the purpose or purposes for which the organization was organized. Like for example, you can make a non-stock corporation for the benefit of all the farmers in your area. So if may income na magigain yung corporation para lang din sa mga farmers, kung anong pwede niyong i-help sa mga farmers. So non-stock corporations may be formed or organized for the following purposes. So pwede charitable purpose, religious purpose, educational. Classic example, yung University of San Carlos in Cebu, University of San Jose Recoletos. Those are non-stock, non-profit corporations. Although we can say na USC is very mahal ha. So malaki yung tuition nila. So obviously malaki talaga yung profit nila. Pero in paper, they're still considered as a non-stock, non-profit. Because whatever income that USC has obtained in the form of tuition fees and other miscellaneous fees, no, no single person or no specific persons can get a portion of that. So, yung magigain nila, makuha nila from the tuition fees, gagamitin lang nila to improve the infrastructure, supposedly, ha? So, that's the ideal way to do it. Okay, so, aside from charitable, religious, educational, pwede din professional, cultural, recreational, fraternal, literary, scientific, social, civic service, or similar purposes like trade, industry, agricultural, like chambers, or any combination. Okay? So, in the RCCP, only these two are the classes of corporation. Only stock corporation and non-stock corporation. But we can still look at other classifications of corporations based on certain criteria. For example, as to the number of persons. Etong mga classifications na ito, you cannot see this one in the revised corporation code. But we will still discuss this for purposes of better understanding of the corporations. So first is according to the number of persons, we have corporation aggregate and we have corporation sole. So a corporation aggregate is a corporation consisting of more than one corporator. Example, like what I said a while ago, Coca-Cola and San Miguel Corporation. Obviously, marami silang mga corporators. So, that is an example of a corporation aggregates. Next one, we have corporation sole. Okay, it is a corporation which consists of only one member or corporator and his successors such as a bishop. So, yung corporation sole is lang, isa lang daw yung parang head of the corporation. So, an example of this is the Roman Catholic Church. It is considered as a corporation sole with the Pope as the head of the corporation. Next, we have, classification, we have according to nationality. So, we have a domestic corporation and a foreign corporation. So, a domestic corporation is a corporation organized under Philippine laws. Meaning to say, ang initial registration talaga ng corporation na yan is made under the Philippine law using the laws of the Philippines. So meaning, registered talaga siya dito sa Philippines. So domestic corporation siya. What if registered siya sa Philippines, pero yung mga may-ari is a foreigner? Can we still consider it as a domestic corporation? The answer is yes. Okay? Regardless of the nationality of the owners, as long as the corporation is organized under the laws of the Philippines, we will still treat that corporation as a domestic corporation. Okay, next one we have foreign corporation. A corporation formed, organized, or existing under laws other than the Philippines and whose laws allow Filipino citizens and corporations to do business in its own country or state. So a foreign corporation is a corporation that was initially registered outside the Philippines. And then magba-branch out lang sila dito sa Philippines. Okay, like for example, Crew Life UK. So originally, it's from the UK, right? But they're also operating here in the Philippines. And that is considered a foreign corporation. Next is according to whether for public or private purpose. So public corporation is a corporation formed or organized for the government of a portion of the state. So like we have provinces, so yung mga LGUs natin, local government units, they're considered public corporations. Okay? Private corporations is a corporation created for a private aim, benefit, or purpose, like the ones discussed in the RCCP. Next, classification. According to whether the goal of this corporation is for a charitable purpose or not. So we have the following classes or types of corporation: ecclesiastical, meaning those organized for religious purposes. Eleemosynary corporation, those established for public charity. And civil corporation, those established for business or profits. Okay. So, Ayala Land Corporation is an example of a civil corporation. For the USC priests, we have what we call Society of the Divine Word. Yung Society of the Divine Word is organized for religious purposes. So, tawag natin sa kanila as an ecclesiastical corporation. Do you know some organizations, non-government organizations are created or established for a charitable purpose, then we can classify them as an eleemosynary corporation. Next is according to their legal right to corporate existence. De jure, we have de jure corporation and de facto corporation. De jure corporation is a corporation existing in fact and in law. It is organized in strict conformity with the law. So meaning to say, lahat ng mga requirements ng law na nagawa nila. Like for example, registration in the SEC, nakapag-submit sila ng mga requirements. So, and then nabigyan talaga sila ng certificate of incorporation by the SEC, then it is considered as a de jure corporation. A de facto corporation is may mga may mga kulang sila ng mga hindi nagawa ng mga requirements. So that is a de facto corporation. A corporation that is existing only in facts but not in law. Next is according to the degree of participation with regard to share ownership. We have closed corporation, open corporation, and publicly held corporation. So a closed corporation is a corporation whose share ownership is limited to selected persons or members of a family. So this is a family-held corporation and not exceeding 20 persons daw yung magiging shareholders. An open corporation, on the other hand, is a corporation where the share is available for subscription or purchase by any person, meaning to say, hindi lang limited to family members. So it's an open corporation. Publicly held corporation is a corporation with a class of equity shares listed on an exchange. So if yung mga shares ng corporation na yan, you can see in a local stock exchange, example in the Philippine Stock Exchange, yung PSE natin, no? They are already considered as a publicly held corporation. Or with assets in excess of 50 million and having, so kahit na, for example, hindi nila pinalista yung shares nila in a local stock exchange, as long as they have met this threshold, kung ang assets nila lampas na sa 50 million and meron silang 200 or more holders. And out of those at least 200 shareholders, at least 200 of which are holding at least 100 shares of a class of its equity securities. So when we say class of equity securities, we have common and preferred stocks. Later we will discuss that. Okay? So ito yung mga threshold na kailangan i-meet before you can say na that corporation can be treated as a publicly held corporation. And why is it important for us to classify the corporation whether publicly held pa siya or hindi? Mas stringent compliance requirements if publicly held a corporation. Mas strict si SEC when it comes to their compliance. So meron silang mga additional submissions sa SEC. Okay. Next one is according to their relation to another corporation. So you can be a parent or holding corporation, or you can be a subsidiary corporation. So a parent corporation is a corporation that is related to another corporation that it has the power to either directly or indirectly elect the majority of the directors of a subsidiary corporation. So you can just imagine an organizational hierarchy. Diba? May mga squares yan, tapos may mga branches, may mga arrows down, and other squares. So yung on top, yung corporation on top, is what we call the parent or holding corporation. Whereas yung mga nasa baba lang na mga corporations are our subsidiary corporations. So a subsidiary is a corporation controlled by another corporation that is known as a parent corporation. Okay? So any questions so far? We now move on to the discussion on the components of a corporation. So, sino yung mga tao na nagko-compose or sino yung mga tao na nasa um, corporation, nasa inside ng corporation, okay? Comprising the corporation. So we have corporators. Corporators are those who compose a corporation, whether as stockholders or shareholders in a stock corporation or as members in a non-stock corporation. Diba? Again, if we have a stock corporation, yung mga owners dyan, nag-hold ng shares are what we call shareholders or stockholders. On the other hand, for a non-stock corporation, since wala naman silang shares of stock, members ang tawag natin sa kanila. So, generally, kung ayaw mong sabihin na specific siya na shareholder ba siya or member ba siya, you can simply refer to them as corporators. Corporators yung kumbaga umbrella term nila. Corporators. Next, we have incorporators. Incorporators are those stockholders or members mentioned in the articles of incorporation as originally. So, highlight ito yung term na originally. Originally forming and composing the corporation and who are signatories to the said articles of incorporation. Okay. From the time na magsa-start yung corporation, if you want to register a corporation, you have to execute an articles. One of the requirements of the SEC is for you to execute an articles of incorporation. So kung sino man yung mga original persons na nagplano talaga na maggawa ng corporation, those are what we call incorporators. But over the years, some of them might die and or some of them might sell their shares to someone else. So may possibility na yung incorporators will cease to become corporators in the future. But, kung sa number one, corporators can change from time to time, especially if may mga active selling and buying of shares. Now, corporators can be changed from time to time. But incorporators cannot anymore be changed. They are fixed in stone and they are to be remembered forever because they are the original persons who formed the corporation. Okay? So who can become incorporators? According to Section 10 of the Revised Corporation Code of the Philippines, it says that any person, partnership, association, or corporation singly or jointly with others, but not more than 15 in number, may organize a corporation for any lawful purpose. So, if you want to start a corporation, you have maximum of 15 persons first. Okay? Sa pag-start ng corporation, kailangan maximum 15 lang daw kayo. And hindi naman siya limited to human beings. Even partnerships can become incorporators. Even an association can become an incorporator. Or a corporation can also become an incorporator for another corporation. Okay? And it says here, singly or jointly with others. Meaning to say, alone, you can do it. If you are a person and you want to be solo, pero corporation, pwede yan. Okay? And we call it a one-person corporation. But for all others, itong partnership association, they cannot make a one-person corporation. Okay? Yung ano lang, person or estates can form rather a one-person corporation. Kung partnership ka, association, or a corporation, you can still incorporate another, you can become an incorporator, but kailangan meron kang kasama na iba. Hindi pwede ikaw lang. Okay? Natural persons who are licensed to practice a profession and partnerships or associations organized for the purpose of practicing a profession shall not be allowed to organize a corporation unless otherwise provided under special laws. So, ito lang yung prohibition na kung ang purpose mo daw ng pag-i-incorporate is to practice your profession, hindi pwede siya. Hindi pwede yung corporation. Pwede lang siyang partnership, general professional partnership. Pero hindi siya pwede gawin na corporation. For example, a group of CPAs, no? Mag-friends kayo na CPAs. And you wanted to make a corporation for the sole purpose of the practice of the accountancy profession. That is not allowed. Okay? What you can only register is a general professional partnership. Okay, incorporators who are natural persons must be of legal age. So, hindi pwedeng minor ang maging incorporator. Each incorporator of a stock corporation must own or be a subscriber to at least one share of the capital stock. Hindi ka pwedeng maging incorporator kung hindi ka mag-own ng at least one share. If it's a stock corporation. A corporation with a single stockholder is considered a one-person corporation or OPC. So take note, incorporators are no longer confined to natural persons, hindi lang human beings. In fact, here, again, under Section 10, it says na pwede partnership, association, blah, blah, blah. So meaning, artificial beings can also become incorporators. Okay? Under the old corporation code, the minimum number of incorporators was 5. Okay? However, under the revised corporation code, pwede ng isa. So before the revision, kailangan at least 5 kayo na mag-start ng corporation. Pero because again of the revision, pwede ng 1. That's why we have what we call a one-person corporation. Okay, however, yung minimum requirement daw na at least 5 daw, but not more than 15, retained lang siya in case of educational corporations. Okay? So, kung educational corporation ang gusto nyong i-build, hindi pwede na OPC. Kailangan at least 5 kayo. But not more than 50. So, 5 to 15. Dapat kayo kung educational na corporation ang gagawin. Pero other than that, if hindi naman educational corp ang plano, pwede kayong mag-OPC. Okay? So all incorporators are corporators of a corporation, but not all corporators are incorporators. An incorporator will always retain his status as such, though no longer have an interest in the corporation. So that's what I said a while ago, na corporators can be changed from time to time because of the buying and selling of shares of stock. However, if you are an incorporator, you will be an incorporator forever. Like, hindi naman change ang fact na you are one of the persons who started the corporation. Okay, so we have shareholders or stockholders. They are the corporators in a stock corporation. Members are corporators of non-stock corporation. So take note, shareholders may be natural or juridical person. So, sino yung pwedeng mag-own ng shares? Pwede tao, pwede din juridical or artificial beings, like another corporation becoming a stockholder of another corporation. Pwede yan. Okay? Subscribers are persons who have agreed to take and pay for original unissued shares of corporation formed or to be formed. So, magsusubscribe ka ng shares because you can actually subscribe and not pay yet in full. So, you can subscribe for certain number of shares. And take note, all incorporators are subscribers, but a subscriber need not be an
Nakikinig ba kayo?
promoter is a person who, acting alone or with others, takes initiative in founding and organizing the corporation and receives consideration therefore. So, siya yung, kumbaga, magpupul ng mga probable incorporators. Underwriters are usually investment bankers who have agreed, alone or with others, to buy at stated terms an entire or a substantial part of
Nakikinig kayo?
securities. Please make sure to mute your mics. That or guarantee the sale of an issue by agreement to buy from the issuing corporation any unsold portion of the stated price, or agreed to use his best efforts to market all or part of an issue, or offered for sale shares he has purchased from a controlling shareholder. Kumbaga, middleman siya. The underwriters are middlemen. Independent director. An independent director is a person who, apart from shareholdings and fees received from the corporation, is independent of management and free from any business or other relationship which could or could reasonably perceive to materially interfere with the exercise of independent judgment in carrying out the responsibilities as a director. Diba, a while ago, I've mentioned that the management and control of a corporation is vested and centralized in the board of directors. So, in the board of directors, you can see the chairman of the board, no, and the other members of the board. Members of the board. But there are some corporations na kailangan, meron din silang independent director. So, sino yung mga corporations? Ano yung mga corporations na required na may independent director? So, hindi lahat ng corporations are required to have an independent director. So, the board of the following corporations vested with public interest shall have independent directors constituting at least 20% of such board. Okay? So, eto lang naman yung mga corporations daw na required sila na may independent director. And yung independent director daw nila kailangan 20% of the membership of the board of directors. So, for example, 10, may 10 na members of the board, what is 20% of 10? So, 2. There should be 2 independent directors. Okay, so what are those corporations? Those are corporations vested with public interest. Specifically, the following. Corporations covered by Section 17.2 of RA 8799 or the Securities Regulation Code, namely those whose securities are registered with SEC, corporations listed with an exchange or with assets at least 50 million, blah, blah, blah. In short, yung mga publicly held corporations. So, di ba, itong description na to, this pertains to a publicly held corporation. So, all publicly held corporations should have an independent director, constituting at least 20% of such board of directors. What else, aside from publicly held? Banks and quasi-banks, non-stock savings and loan associations, pawn shops, corporations engaged in money service business, pre-need, trust and insurance companies, and other financial intermediaries. So those companies kailangan merong independent director. Other corporations engaged in business vested with public interest similar to the above as may be determined by the commission. Ang commission dito pasabot is the word commission here is referring to the Securities and Exchange Commission. So as determined by the SEC, okay? After taking into account relevant factors which are germane to the objective and purpose of requiring the election of an independent director, such as the extent of minority ownership, type of financial products or securities issued or offered to investors. Right. Additional general powers per the revised Corporation Code of the Philippines. Every corporation incorporated under the RCCP is expressly given the power to enter into a partnership, joint venture, or any commercial agreement with natural or juridical persons. Okay. Also, domestic corporations are allowed to give donations in aid of any political party or candidate and for the purposes of partisan political activity. These were not originally allowed in the original corporation code, but this one is an addition to the revisions introduced by the revised corporation. Okay. So next we have classes of shares. So classes of shares is only relevant if you are looking at a corporation that is a stock corporation. So ito, hindi siya applicable kung non-stock yung corporation mo. Okay? Kung stock corporation lang, we can talk about shares. So we have par value shares, no par value shares. Okay? Par value shares is one in which a specific amount is fixed in the articles of incorporation and appearing on the certificate of stock. The par value is the minimum issue price of the share. So when you draft, di ba, initially, if you want to register your corporation, kailangan kasi mag-submit ka ng articles of incorporation. Dun sa articles of incorporation, if isi-set mo yung minimum selling price of the shares of stock ng corporation, that minimum price is referred to as the par value. Okay, the par value of the shares. Section 6 of the code states that preference or preferred shares of stock may be issued only as par value shares. So later on, you can see, okay, here in number 6, you can see ordinary shares and preferred shares or preference shares. Kung ordinary lang yung shares, other term for this one is common stock, and then this one is preferred stock. Kung ordinary or common, pwede siya par or non-par. Pwede siyang merong par value, pwede din siya walang par value. However, preference shares or preferred stock, kailangan merong par value. So again, ordinary or common shares can be with par or without par value. Preferred shares, on the other hand, preference shares, kailangan always with par value. Okay. Question, can you put par value as piso? Yes, pwede. Pwede naman piso yung par value. Pwede ba 100? Pwede. So it's really up to you kung how much yung ilalagay mo na par value of your shares in your articles of incorporation. Okay, no par value shares, one without any value appearing on the face of the certificate of stock. A no par value share may have a stated value. So in lieu, since hindi siya par, wala siyang par value, in lieu of that, you have a stated value. Okay? So kung wala kang par value, meron kang stated value. A no par value share may have a stated value which may be fixed in the articles of incorporation or by the board of directors or the shareholders. So yung stated value need not be included in the AOI or articles of incorporation. Pwede siya later on na lang decided or agreed by the board of directors. Thus, the issue price may vary from time to time as it is usually fixed based on the book value of the corporation's shares. Issue price, stated value, more or less the same. Okay, but when we speak of issue price, ito talaga yung actual selling price ng shares mo when you sell it. Okay, that's the issue price. However, the minimum stated value of a no par value share is 5 pesos per share. In addition, shares issued without par value are deemed fully paid. Okay, dito, if you have a par value, if you include a par value in your articles, pwede siya piso, diba? But if no par value daw siya, stated value lang meron, ang minimum ng stated value is 5 pesos per share. Hindi pa din na piso. Okay? However, again, the following companies are not permitted to issue no par value shares of stock. Kahit na common share or ordinary share. Di ba kanina I've mentioned, if ordinary share or common share, pwede par or no par. Okay, pwede par or no par. Except if banks, trust, insurance, pre-need, public utilities, building and loan associations, other corporations authorized to obtain or access funds from the public, whether publicly listed or not, those are not allowed to issue a no par value shares of stock kahit na ordinary share pa yan or common share. So all of its shares should have a par value for these specific companies. Voting shares, those shares issued with a right to vote. Now, ordinary shares should always be voting shares. Preferred shares may be voting or non-voting. Depende sa nilagay nyo na attributes of your preferred shares. So preferred shares can be voting or non-voting. But ordinary shares or common shares should always be voting. Okay? Kailangan may right to vote ang holders of ordinary or common shares. Yung mga holders of preferred shares, pwede silang merong voting right or pwede din walang voting right. So non-voting shares, those issued without the right to vote. Ordinary shares, these shares entitle the holder to an equal prorated division of profits without any preference. On the other hand, preference shares, meron silang certain advantages or preference. So kung for example, you will state in your articles of incorporation that you can issue preferred shares, and then the preference is the um, when it comes to the payment of dividends, kailangan unahin muna sila. So that is that kind of preference. So you can actually specify in your articles what kind of preference you would give to your preferred shareholders. Founders' shares may be given certain rights and privileges not enjoyed by the owners of other stocks. So meron kang special type of shares, founders' shares, na may mga special na privileges. Now, founder shares from the term itself, founder, can only be given to the founders of the corporation. Then we have redeemable shares, no? But redeemable shares can only be issued when it is expressly provided in the articles. Kung sa articles nyo, hindi nyo mention doon yung redeemable shares, then later on, you cannot decide to issue redeemable shares. So what are redeemable shares? These are shares which may be purchased by the corporation from the holders of such shares upon the expiration of a fixed period, regardless of the existence of unrestricted retained earnings. So redeemable shares is when, if ako si corporation, I can issue you this share, but I have the right to redeem it. Babawiin ko siya after the expiration of a certain period. So redeemable shares ang tawag natin. Treasury shares is stock that has been issued by the corporation as fully paid and later reacquired but not retired. So, like what I said a while ago, no, kung mayroon kayong redeemable shares, okay? Redeemable shares can be redeemed by the corporation after the expiration of a certain period. So, when it is being redeemed or reacquired by the corporation, it will now be treated as a treasury share. Promotion shares, those issued to promoters as compensation in promoting the incorporation of a corporation or for the services rendered in launching or promoting the welfare of a corporation. So it's also a special type of share. Convertible share, a stock which is convertible or changeable from one class to another class. So for example, this convertible share, let's say originally it is a preferred share, preferred stock, and you have the option to convert it into an ordinary stock or vice versa. So that is what we call a convertible share. Okay. So I think medyo information overload na kayo. So the next time we'll meet, I'll show you a sample of an articles of incorporation, but if you have extra time, you can read on what are the required contents of an articles of incorporation and what are the required contents of the corporation's bylaws. You can read them, and next time I'll show you an exact actual copy of an articles of an incorporation and bylaws that I have prepared for my clients. Okay? So do you have questions so far relating to what we have discussed? So hearing no questions, okay? we will proceed with the agreements na, di ba, you have requested me to just do an online examination instead of a